Have you ever wondered where the very first seeds of wisdom, magic, and knowledge were planted, long before books existed, long before science had a name? There was a being whose presence shaped the very foundations of the spiritual and physical world. His name was Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, magic, and balance, a figure so powerful and mysterious that even today, spiritual seekers across the world turn to his legacy for guidance. In today's video, we will dive deep into the full story of Thoth, exploring his mysterious origins, his divine powers, and why his influence is still essential for anyone walking the spiritual path. We will uncover the sacred secrets he guarded, the ancient knowledge he gifted to humanity, and the reason every spiritualist must understand his teachings in order to truly awaken their inner potential. Whether you are just beginning your spiritual journey or have walked this path for many years, knowing Thoth's story will offer you profound insights into the balance between mind and soul, logic and intuition, knowledge and mystery. Stay with me until the end of the video, because by truly understanding Thoth, you will not only learn about one of the greatest gods in history, you will also learn how to activate the divine wisdom hidden within yourself. To truly understand Thoth, we must first journey back to the beginning of time, when the universe was still young, and the gods themselves were weaving the fabric of existence. In ancient Egyptian mythology, there are several versions of how Thoth came into being, each one as mystical and profound as the god himself. In one version, Thoth was born from the lips of Ra, the great sun god. He was not just spoken into existence, he was the spoken word itself, a living embodiment of divine communication and truth. Every word Ra uttered was a part of the cosmic order, and Thoth became the voice that brought clarity, wisdom, and harmony to the universe. In another version of the myth, Thoth was self-created, emerging from the chaos at the beginning of time. He was said to have come into existence through the sheer power of his own will and thought, without mother or father, making him a truly unique and independent force among the gods. This idea paints Thoth as the ultimate creator of ideas, concepts, and systems, a being who understood the structure of the universe from its very core. Thoth was deeply connected to the moon. While Ra ruled the sun and brought light to the world, Thoth ruled the night and the mysteries hidden within it. The moon's light was seen as a reflection of hidden wisdom, the secrets that could only be understood when the noise of the day had faded away. As the god of the moon, Thoth balanced the chaos of night with the order of knowledge, ensuring that even in darkness, there was understanding and purpose. He was also known as the great mediator among the gods. Whenever disputes arose, whenever balance was threatened, Thoth would step forward with wisdom and reason. He was trusted to settle conflicts not through power or violence, but through intelligence, fairness, and deep spiritual insight. Because of this, he earned the title of the heart and tongue of Ra, the means by which divine will was communicated to both gods and humans. Thoth's origins are not just about his birth or his powers. They represent something deeper. They symbolize the eternal existence of knowledge, balance, and communication, principles that are not born once and then forgotten, but that must be continuously created, spoken, and maintained. Just as Thoth continuously brings order to chaos, so too must we as spiritual seekers learn to bring clarity to confusion, light to darkness, and wisdom to ignorance. Understanding where Thoth comes from helps us see that wisdom is not something we find outside ourselves. It is something we must continuously create within, by aligning our thoughts, our words, and our actions with truth and balance, just as Thoth did in the very beginning of time. When we talk about Thoth, we are not just speaking of a god who observed from a distance. Thoth was deeply active in shaping the divine and human worlds. His roles and powers were vast, touching every aspect of life, death, and the unseen realms beyond. First and foremost, Thoth was the god of wisdom. He was the living mind of the universe, the keeper of sacred knowledge and the protector of truth. Without Thoth, the the gods themselves would struggle to maintain order. He was the one who recorded every action, every judgment, and every cosmic law, ensuring that everything remained in its rightful place within the grand design of existence. Thoth was also the inventor of writing. He gifted humanity the sacred art of hieroglyphics, a system not just of language, but of magic and mystery. Each symbol carried spiritual weight. Each word was a spell, a vibration that connected the physical world with the divine realms. Through writing, humans were able to preserve their knowledge, communicate their experiences, and pass down the sacred wisdom of the gods. It was Thoth who made sure that wisdom would never be lost, even as civilizations rose and fell. Science and measurement also fell under Thoth's domain. He was the master of time, of calendars, of the movements of the stars and planets. It was Thoth who measured the heavens and divided the year into months and days, allowing humans to understand the cycles of nature, to plant their crops, to celebrate their sacred festivals at the right times. To Thoth, measurement was not just about numbers. It was about understanding the rhythms of the cosmos, the hidden patterns that guide all life. Another powerful role Thoth played was as a magician. In the ancient world, magic was not seen as trickery or illusion. It was the deep knowledge of how the universe operates. Thoth was the ultimate magician because he understood the secret laws that governed reality. He knew the words of power, the symbols of creation, and the rituals that could align the human soul with divine forces. Priests, healers, and spiritual practitioners would often invoke Thoth when performing sacred rites, calling upon his wisdom to ensure that their actions were pure and effective. In the realm of the afterlife, Thoth had perhaps his most famous and crucial role. In the Hall of Mot, where the souls of the dead were judged, Thoth stood as the divine scribe. It was he who recorded the results of the weighing of the heart ceremony, where the heart of the deceased was placed on one side of a scale and the feather of Mot, the symbol of truth and justice, was placed on the other. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul could move on to the eternal paradise. If it was heavier, it would be devoured by Ammit, the fearsome goddess of destruction. Through his recordings, Thoth ensured that justice was carried out with absolute fairness. No soul could deceive him. No mistake could be made. Thoth's symbolism reflects his many powers. He is often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis, a bird associated with wisdom and sacred knowledge. The curved beak of the ibis was said to represent the crescent moon, linking Thoth to the cycles of time and hidden mysteries. Sometimes he appears as a baboon, another sacred animal known for its intelligence and its connection to the moon and the stars. These symbols remind us that Thoth's wisdom is not linear or simple. It is cyclical, deep, and full of layers waiting to be uncovered. More than just a list of titles or abilities, Thoth's roles show us the deeper truth that wisdom is active. It is not passive. It shapes the world. It records what is right and what is wrong. It balances the forces of chaos and order. It preserves knowledge and brings light to the darkest corners of existence. By understanding Thoth's powers, we come to realize that true wisdom is not just knowing facts. It is living in alignment with the hidden laws of the universe, speaking truth even when it is difficult, measuring our actions carefully, and recognizing the sacred patterns woven through all things. When we seek to embody the spirit of Thoth in our own lives, we are called to be more than just seekers of knowledge. We are called to be keepers of wisdom, protectors of truth, and builders of a life that reflects the divine harmony he always represented. To truly grasp the greatness of Thoth, we must move beyond the myths and stories and explore his deeper spiritual significance, because Thoth is not just a figure of the past. His spirit lives within every person who seeks truth, balance, and higher understanding. In the ancient world, Thoth was seen as the bridge between the divine and the mortal. He was the one who connected heaven and earth, spirit and matter, thought and action. Through him, the invisible became visible. The unknowable became knowable. The spiritual seeker could ascend beyond the illusions of the material world and glimpse the eternal truths hidden behind the surface of everyday life. Thoth represents the principle that true wisdom comes from inner balance. He teaches that intelligence without compassion becomes cruelty, that knowledge without humility becomes arrogance, and that power without wisdom becomes destruction. For those walking the spiritual path, Thoth's presence is a reminder that real mastery comes from the harmony of heart, mind, and soul, not from domination or control. He is also the embodiment of the sacred word. In many traditions, it is believed that words have the power to create or destroy, to heal or to harm. Thoth understood this deeply, and through him, the ancient Egyptians honored the idea that language itself is magical, that every word carries intention and energy. When we speak, we shape our reality. We cast spells whether we realize it or not. Therefore, Thoth teaches us to speak carefully, truthfully, and purposefully, because what we say echoes through the spiritual and physical worlds alike. Another profound aspect of Thoth's spiritual significance lies in his connection to time and the cycles of life. As the god who measured the heavens and created the calendar, Thoth reminds us that life is not a straight line, but a series of rhythms and seasons. Spiritual growth does not happen instantly. It unfolds in cycles of learning, forgetting, remembering, and evolving, just as the moon waxes and wanes, just as the stars move across the sky. Our souls go through their own sacred journeys of expansion and reflection. Thoth is also a guardian of hidden knowledge. He watches over the mysteries that are not meant for the careless or the arrogant, only those who approach with reverence. Patience and a pure heart are worthy of the deeper truths. In this way, Thoth invites us to become true seekers, not just collectors of information, but initiates into the living mysteries of existence. He asks us to humble ourselves before the vastness of the universe, to listen more than we speak, and to always be students even when we think we have mastered much. In meditation and spiritual practice, many people invoke the energy of Thoth to open the mind to higher dimensions of consciousness, to access the Akashic records, the vast library of all knowledge, to understand symbols and dreams, to heal through the power of sacred words and sacred thought. When we call upon Thoth, we are not asking for mere information. We are asking for transformation. We are asking to become wiser, more truthful, more aligned with the divine order that holds the cosmos together. Ultimately, Thoth's spiritual significance is a call to responsibility. With great wisdom comes the duty to use it wisely, to live in truth, to teach others with compassion, and to honor the sacred connections between all beings through the spirit of Thoth. We are reminded that true enlightenment is not about escaping the world. It is about living in it fully, consciously, and lovingly, bringing the light of wisdom into every word we speak and every action we take. When we walk with Thoth, we walk the path of the wise, the path of the balanced soul, the path of the sacred scribe who writes not just words, but destiny itself in alignment with the eternal harmony of the universe. Even though thousands of years have passed since the ancient Egyptians first honored Thoth, his influence is still deeply felt in modern spirituality today. His spirit continues to guide those who seek wisdom, who honor truth, and who strive to connect the seen and the unseen worlds. One of the clearest signs of Thoth's lasting impact is seen in the practices of sacred writing and sacred speech. Many spiritual traditions today emphasize the power of affirmations, mantras, prayers, and sacred texts. These practices all echo the ancient belief that words are magical, that language can shape reality. Every time someone speaks with intention to heal, to inspire, or to awaken, they are tapping into the ancient current of power that Thoth introduced to the world. Thoth's legacy is also alive in the study of sacred geometry, astrology, alchemy, and esoteric knowledge. He is often credited as the original master of these mysteries in modern times. Seekers continue to explore these ancient sciences not just to understand the physical world, but to understand the deeper spiritual patterns that connect everything, every chart drawn, every symbol studied, every mystery uncovered is part of the ongoing dialogue with the spirit of Thoth, who invites humanity to remember that science and spirituality are not enemies, but reflections of the same universal truth. The famous Hermetic tradition, which has influenced countless spiritual systems in the West, also traces its roots back to Thoth, known as Hermes Trismegistus in the Greek tradition. Thoth's teachings were preserved and expanded into the Hermetic writings, which emphasized the principles of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, and other universal laws. Today, countless seekers read the Kybalion, study Hermetic philosophy, and practice spiritual alchemy, all continuing the legacy of Thoth's wisdom in new forms adapted to a changing world. In meditation, in energy healing, in modern mystery schools and esoteric circles, Thoth is often invoked as a guide and protector. He is seen as the master teacher who helps individuals unlock their inner knowledge, who opens the doors to higher consciousness, and who reminds us to use our wisdom not for selfish gain, but for the betterment of all beings. Through all of these expressions, Thoth's influence remains a living force, breathing through the hearts and minds of those who seek to live wisely, to act justly, and to honor the sacred connections between all forms of life. In every whisper of sacred words, in every act of true understanding, the spirit of Thoth continues to shine in our world. As we come to the end of this journey into the story of Thoth, we can see that he is far more than an ancient deity carved into stone or written about in old texts. Thoth is a living symbol of wisdom, balance, truth, and spiritual mastery. His story calls to all of us who seek a deeper connection to the mysteries of existence. Thoth teaches us that true knowledge is not about collecting facts, but about transforming our hearts and minds. It is about aligning ourselves with the eternal rhythms of the universe. It is about honoring the sacred power of words, the sacred power of thought, and the sacred power of intention. Through Thoth's example, we learn that every choice we make, every word we speak, and every thought we hold shapes not just our lives, but the very fabric of reality itself. Today, more than ever, the world needs the spirit of Thoth. It needs the wisdom that brings unity, the truth that brings healing, the balance that brings peace. Each of us has the potential to walk the path of Thoth, to be scribes of our own destiny, to be bridges between the material and the spiritual, to live lives that honor both the seen and the unseen. So when you think of Thoth, do not think only of the past. Think of the living presence of wisdom that moves through you even now. Remember that you too are a creator, a speaker of sacred words, a seeker of truth, a bringer of balance. May the spirit of Thoth guide your journey, inspire your soul, and awaken within you the eternal light of true understanding.